Hello, 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 hello. This is a personal stylish Reiko Suenaga. I have been a long time didn't come here, so I try to have my YouTube live during the before the Christmas coming. So it's a very beautiful day today in my area, and I am trying to having my English lesson every day from in using the in YouTube, and let me to share what kind of English lesson I had, and how did I do that, and how did I learn about that. Maybe a lot of people learn the English from using the YouTube or internet or something. The teacher from another country from abroad, maybe from the Philippines, because I have been learn English in the online. All my teacher from Philippines, and sometimes when I driving, I try to have my class, and I never have the class during at home. Now I find it a very perfect studying tools for myself, and I really want to share it for someone if you like it. And now I'm finding some Bibles from the YouTube. I try to read it for the 30 minutes, almost sometimes like an hour. I try to keep it for a day. Now I just read it a little bit, and let the I maybe you love it or you interest for that. Then let me to read it. I think it's very interesting. If you want to brush your English, if you want to keep up your English skill, that's a very good study place or tools, because it's all free. Now, I try to use about this channel. It's called the English Zone Rocks, and there's a lot of book, or there's a lot of titles, or there's a lot of novels you can read. Today I try to read about the how I meet myself. I don't know, maybe sometimes it will be a mistake, but I try to my best. I try my best. This room is very cold because this is part in my house, so it's the sun never into this area, so this room is a little bit cold. I use my heat in my hood, so it's a little bit noisy, but I try to read it louder and slowly to share about my study note. Yeah, let me start. How I met myself. Chapter 1. A strange meeting. I was walking home from my office one January evening. It was a Monday. The weather was very cold, and there were some low clouds around the tops of the building. And then it was a very this is from beginning, and once I'd left the main road. There weren't many people in the dark. Narrow streets of border paths, 13th district. Everything was very quiet. It felt as if the city was dark. As I walked, I thought about what had happened at work. I had argued with one of the hungriest I worked with. It was the first serious problem since I'd arrived. I was trying to think what to do about it, and I was also hoping what my wife, Andre, had made one of her nice top hot soups for that. After about 5 minutes, it started to snow heavily, so that the streets were soon completely white. As I was walking along a very dark part of one street, there was the noise of a door shutting loudly inside the building. Then I heard the sound of someone running. Wow! Suddenly, the street door opened and a man came out of it and ran straight into me. Wow, it's so scared. I fell over into the snow, shouting something like, "Hey, watch where you are going!" My words were loud in the empty street. The man turned to look at me for a moment. "Sorry," he said very quietly in Hungarian before walking quietly away. Wow, it's so scared. I think it's so scared. And then, how about next? I tried to, and then what I saw at that moment in that dark winter street was very strange, and I felt very afraid because what I saw was me, my face looking down at me, my mouth saying sorry. Wow, it's so scary story. I tried to read it slowly. What happened in the next? Chapter 2. Getting to know me. Perhaps I'd better tell you something about me before I go on with the rest of this story. My name is John Tyler, and I'm 34 years old. I'm a nearly 2 meters tall. Wow, 2 meters tall, with light brown hair and eyes, and I have a mustache. I am a computer programmer. Wow, 34 years old and 2 meters high. It's too high, and he is the computer programmer. 4 years ago, my company in Bristol became part of a very large multinational computer company. You would know the name if I told you. I was offered the chance to go and work in their budget office. They need someone to lead a young Hungarian team in an important new piece of work. I was very pleased. plays it. Wow, I'd like to read this kind of book. What happened in the next? It was a better job in the company, and I thought it would be really interesting to work in another country. John, she said, I've never heard you say anything like this before. What happened? What do you mean? I wish I knew what I mean, I said with difficulty. All I know is that I have a strange idea inside my head, and Adrian, wow, it's too fast, and let me read it slowly. Andrew, I said as well walked home. You must believe me. I need your help to try to understand what happened to me. I'm trying to believe you. Love, she answered, turning to look at me. It's just that it's very difficult to understand. It's difficult for me too, I said. Wow. She and he, it's having a love story maybe? Okay, what happened in the next? Let me read the next. And then Andrew said, wow, is it? Wow. So, I try to reading this kind of topics or novel or story. Maybe sometimes it's a horror story. Sometimes maybe it's a very love story. I try to read it for every day. I listen it for the how many days? I started almost 3 weeks. And every day I try to read it for 30 minutes. If I have a time, I try to read it 60 minutes or an hour. Then this kind of a study, I think it's very fit me. But it depends on you. It depends on the person. Some people maybe love to read, or some people love to write, or some people love to speak, or some people love to having the channel or YouTube to explain themselves. And I'd like to read it loudly. Let my ear let I can hear it, and sometimes I follow the reader, and slowly I copy their the pronunciation, and sometimes like American English or British English. It's very interesting, and for me, I have experience. I learn. I have been to study in the British for almost 6 months. That's why I love the British pronunciation, and their pronunciation or the British English. It's totally different with the American English. That's why I want to read it again, to listen it again, study it again. I want to talking about the British pronunciation. That's very cool. I think if you learn, if you can copy their pronunciation, and then if you talk about the British pronunciation, I think it's very cool. That's why I try to sometimes maybe I use in another languages like Chinese or Japanese. Maybe almost in the YouTube my channel I will be using the English most. Okay, thank you very much today. It's almost the third, 20 minutes, I think. I have to say goodbye. See you tomorrow. I try to come back again in the same time. Thank you very much. See you next time.